SwiftUI, you can clip and mask views using three modifiers: mask, ClipShape, and clipped. Each of the three masking techniques behave differently, so in this video, we will use animation to illustrate how each one of them works. If you, for example, search for the mask modifier in the Apple documentation, over here, they have an example, which I think not a useful example. So we want to use animation to illustrate how each one of them works. Depending on what you want to clip or mask in SwiftUI, you may need a clipping or masking view. You can use any view you want as a masking view. So in this example, we are going to use this rectangle, which has a wavy shape. I have opened this document in Figma. You don't see the layers and inspector panels because I have hidden them with command and period. So to create a wavy shape like this, you can, for example, use a rectangle by pressing R on the keyboard and draw any rectangle. With that selected, if I hover over here, you can see nothing happens. So you press enter to go into vector editing mode. You have noticed we have 4 control points, and if I hover here, we have another one at the top center. There is also one at the left center and one at the right center. So once you hover anywhere, you can click to add another vector point. I'll move to the right, and that also defines the center between the 2 points. I'll click again to define another vector point and click here and add another one here as well, and do the same thing on the left. So we now have equally spaced control points at the top part of the rectangle. So let's select the alternative ones and use it to create a wavy shape. With those points selected, you can move them up or down to create your wavy shape. So if I click outside and press escape, you can see we don't have curved segments as the one below. So I'll select it again and press command and period to bring the inspector and the layers panels. Then I'll press the return key to go into vector editing mode again and select the points again. Then we go to the inspector and click this icon to round all the corners. I will then select the control points below and do the same. What you can do next is to select the shape and export it as PNG, JPEG, or SVG. Then you can upload it in the assets library in the Xcode project. So let's begin with the mask modifier. With the mask modifier example, I added this Z stack consisting of the purple circle, which is behind the wavy rectangles we designed in Figma. So we have the circle, and if I scroll down, we have a first copy of the wavy rectangle, and also we have another one here, which is in the middle, and this one in the front. So each of the rectangles is animating with face animator. So using the mask modifier, you can apply the opacity value of one view to another view. That behaves like masking to a parent view. So in this case, the circular object is the parent view, and we have the wavy rectangles as the current view. Since we want to mask to the circle, we need to select the circle. So this is the circle, and we attach the mask modifier to the circle. Then we need to define the masking view. So inside the mask, we have all the views we want to apply as mask. That is the 3 wavy rectangles. And if I scroll down, I will remove this comment. So that is going to clip it to the circle. So with the mask modifier, all the 3 rectangles are now hidden outside the bounds of the circle. And with that, we create this nice wavy effect. Next, by arranging the wavy rectangles in the same way as the previous one, we have one of the rectangles in front, one in the middle, and another one at the back. All are contained in this Z-stack container. So like the previous example, we are animating each of the rectangles using face animator. For this example, we want to clip the views using the ClipShape modifier. You can use the ClipShape modifier to fill a view's frame while maintaining its aspect ratio. There are different options, so I'll scroll down and remove this comment. With this example, we apply the ClipShape modifier and specify our option as circle. If I put a period, you have noticed we can use different shapes like capsule. That changes it from a circular shape to capsule. Aside from capsule, you can also use other shapes as well. For example, container relative, which clips the shapes to the rectangular bounding box. You can also use ellipse, which is similar to the capsule shape. or specify another shape you want, like rect, which also looks similar to the container relative shape. So these are the different options when using the ClipShape modifier. I'll set it back to circle. With the third example, that is the clip modifier, you can use it to clip a view to its rectangular bounding box. Let's, for example, go to the project navigator and add another file from template. Let's call it clipped view and replace the text with this long one. Then we customize the text with these properties and also add a border to the text. What you have noticed in this example is that the text extends beyond the bounding rectangle. Before the border modifier, what we can do is to clip the text. In that case, we don't want to extend it beyond the bounding rectangle. This is how the clipped modifier also works. So in our example, we have all the rectangles animating in the same way as the previous examples. We have the wavy image that is behind the other two images. This is the one in the middle, and also this one is in the front. So all we need to do is to add the clip modifier, so that clips it to the bounding rectangle of the views. Let's switch from the animation preview to design. In design mode, you see the bounding rectangle as a blue outline. Although over here, we have scaled the X 2 times the actual size. So if I put a comment here, although we are scaling it on the X-axis, the bounding rectangle remains the same. I'll remove the modifier to add the clipping mask. So that is how the mask, clip shape, and the clip modifier works in SwiftUI. We used animation to make each of the clipping and masking techniques easier to understand.